Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim, in the name of God, the Compassionate, the Merciful. It's not every day that you come across such a fine specimen of God's creation as Ayatullah Nimr and Nimr. It's not every day you find millions across the globe magnetized to his character and inspired by the sincerity and bravery of this man. It's not every day that you wake up to earth-shattering sirens announcing this man's crucifixion at the hands of wretched savages, even if they wear cufflinks. The murderers need no introduction. They're the same group of thugs who gave the world such ilk as the 9/11 terrorists and ISIS. The demonic house of Saud is a house of terror that our beloved martyr was seeking to reason with for 50 years. And because these aren't the occurrences of your average day, our reaction must be equally unique. But first, let me say a few words about the martyr himself. He was an Ayatullah, meaning that he was on par with the highest-ranking scholars of faith. His intellectual seniority alone should trigger outrage by all those who value knowledge and scholarship, irrespective of color or creed. His status as a distinguished jurist merits deep anguish for the kind of world we live in. He was also a peacemaker. Having the Saudi regime crucify him on trumped-up charges of inciting terrorism is as farcical as Martin Luther King Jr. being hanged for killing white children. The absurdity of these manufactured accusations is simply stunning. Without Ayatollah Nimr's non-violent stance, the Saudi regime would have had as many killed on their side as they themselves have killed in Bahrain and Qatif. The entire country would now be up in flames. He made a strategic decision to pursue equal rights for all without resorting to violence, and he made that abundantly clear in his sermons and speeches. The only weapon he ever used, indeed the only weapon he had, was his tongue. But for a regime whose every word trickles with hate and murder, the tongue is seen as a weapon sharper than 1,000 swords. In a country filled with darkness and tyranny, the mere existence of a man calling for freedom and justice is seen as a nuclear explosion. As far as the Saudis were concerned, he had to go. So like many despots before them, who couldn't bear the voice of truth, and with a stroke of his blood-stained pen, the demented octogenarian king sent his son, who occupies several other posts, including Minister of Defense, to decapitate this defenseless man of faith. Of course, like tyrants before it, this regime will have to face the catastrophic and explosive consequences of their vile act. The love of Ayatollah Nimr has been planted in the hearts of millions, and your PR stunts and lobbying dollars won't make the problem go away. Murder is one of those things which haunts the perpetrator all his life and beyond, let alone the cold-blooded slaughter of such a legendary sage. So what about us? What must you and I do to bring the terrorists behind this act to justice? And I know we're all shocked, we're all angry, we're all incredibly sad. But let me say this first. Sheikh Nimr did his part. He gave his blood so that the world knows how evil his killers were. Now it's our turn to ensure his blood was not spilled in vain and that the Sheikh's mission is accomplished. As I said earlier, our reaction must match the sacrifice of Ayatollah Nimr. So here are some things you can do. Number one, link up with an organization now active on defending Sheikh Nimr. Help them with their campaigns. Make sure the momentum is maintained. For instance, in the UK, there's a group of dedicated brothers and sisters who have chosen the name Team Nimr, and they're very active. Help them out. In the United States, in Canada, there are many groups who are incredibly active. Help them. Number two, pick up that phone and call the office of your elected official now. Don't delay it. It's very simple, even if you've never done this before. You must exercise your right as a citizen of a free and democratic country, and this is how you do it. You say, after you've made the phone call, that you're a constituent and that you'd like to speak with him or her or to an aide or advisor. You say that you're shocked about the Saudi regime's murder and you demand severing ties with this barbaric regime, and especially a moratorium on all defense contracts. No more selling billions of dollars worth of weapons to the Saudi regime in order to use those weapons to kill innocent men, women, and children. Let's put an end to all of this. You make the point to your elected official, your MP or congressman, that Saudi Arabia is worse than North Korea in that it is the ideological mother of ISIS. You demand that your elected person respond to your query in writing, not over the phone, but you want something in writing, and that simply expressing quote-unquote concern will not do. You want your government to sanction Saudi Arabia for its unspeakable crimes, nothing less. Finally, honor our martyr with a Sheikh Nimr Day at your local mosque. If you're a student, coordinate with your university's Thaqalain or Ahlul Bayt Society and throw an awareness campaign against the Saudi regime with Ayatollah Nimr's murder at the fore. Tweet or post parts of a sermon to media organizations in your town and city. Demand that journalists cover the heinous crimes of the sons of Saud. I have written an article on the Huffington Post about the regime's murderous agenda. Forward that article to everyone you know. Record a short video of your disgust with the Saudi regime and post it to your Facebook page. In short, brothers and sisters, use your position, your talents, and some quality time to do something. Treat our dear Sheikh as your own father. What would you do if your father was beheaded simply for calling for equal rights and some dignity? Sheikh Nimr was a father to all of us.